every time there's a conversation that comes up about white people's entitlement and this Cape independence thing, people like to use this, oh, but you're not all from here. Most of you are like Central African. The only people who are here first are Khoisan. Don't act like you give a shit about Khoi or San people at all. You also can't use the logic of you're not Southern African, you're Central African or East African. Africa didn't have borders until white people got here. The only reason South Africa exists is because colonialists back in the 1800s decided that they wanted to chop up Africa like a little cheesecake and share it. White people in South Africa are descendants of colonizers. I am an indigenous person. I'm indigenous to the whole continent.
Tell them, indigenous to the continent.
Nigeria is my home the same way that Kenya is my home.
Period.
South Africa is a colonial construct that y'all created. A British-born man who has only lived in South Africa for 20 years has decided that he has the right to come here and tell African people what to do with their land. We don't even need to discuss the intricacies of colonialism. We don't need to get into that for you to understand that it's insane for a British man to come here and tell us what to do with our land because he feels like he is entitled to do so. White South Africans don't have the right to tell African people what to do with our land. You live here because your ancestors committed atrocities to the native populations. There is a huge difference between me and them.
There's this very interesting video that Darren made sometime, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember, but I'm going to put the video up. I hope I still have that video saved in my archive somewhere.
Nationality for the descendants of colonizers is an institutional technicality implemented by a colonial system that no indigenous people agreed to.
We weren't the ones who drafted this arrangement. We did not agree to this. Hell, we were not even asked what we thought about it. They came, they took the place, and then they were like, okay, now this is home. And any of us that gets born here moving forward is going to be their home as well. Because of what is happening in South Africa right now with the British guy, Phil Craig, who is trying to split South Africa into two, creating another country in the Western Cape. For those of us who missed that video, a link to it is down below in the description if you want to get the whole gist. Seeing how this Phil Craig guy was able to very easily become a citizen of South Africa by using this loophole that the colonizers before him made available, I decided to do a little bit of a search into various countries to see what their citizenship laws are like and how easy it is for foreigners to become citizens in their countries. In this search, I found out that there are some countries that have made it nearly impossible for foreigners to be citizens in their countries. Like China and Japan, for example, who's surprised that they are on the list of countries that are hardest to get citizenship in? Definitely not me. I wasn't surprised. Because these countries, they know better. They are wiser now. They know how such a loophole existing in their constitution, or rather their citizenship laws. It's so easy for anybody to be a citizen in their country. Someone like Phil Craig can go there, become a citizen, infiltrate their country, get into politics and start doing God knows what there, and start talking about how he wants to split their country in half and create for himself from their country another country that will be more to his liking, like Phil Craig is planning to do right now in South Africa. Another country that I found that is very difficult to get citizenship in is Qatar. In this country, they even make it so that for you to be a citizen in their country, you have to renounce or turn down your citizenship that you had in your country. You have to totally get rid of your former passports and now only operate on theirs. So you cannot be playing both sides. Because see guys, let's be serious here. This loophole that exists here where anybody can come and just stay a little while and do this and that, and then we give this person citizenship. That's wild. That's us not being smart at all, especially given where we are coming from as a people, especially knowing the kind of continent that we live in, what our continent has to offer. Anybody with literally money and bad intention, ill intention can come in, use this loophole, and then infiltrate us and start working to our disadvantage. Given the history of our continent, given our history as a people, it is wild that we let such a door exist, a door that literally anyone can walk very easily through. As a people, we should know better. We should be more cautious and be more protective of our continent and our people. We can't just be letting any Tom, Dick, and Harry in. Did the past teach us nothing?
So you can't tell me that I'm not from here. We were moving around with no borders for decades, for hundreds of years before y'all came here and imposed your bullshit on us. We will not allow it. It doesn't matter how hard you try to convince us. It doesn't matter what argument you come up with. That British man needs to be deported. Very simple.
Take a look at this comment. This person said, maybe if there weren't millions of South Africans chanting genocidal songs, we could get along.
You have no idea how lucky y'all are that all black people do after y'all butchered and massacred and raped and exploited and tortured and bullied and oppressed and terrorized us and our people, that all we do is sing songs. You don't know how lucky you are. If we were as barbaric as you were, if we were heathens like you were, if we were inhumane as you were, if we were as evil as you were, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here to try and demand things. You wouldn't be here to try and colonize again. You wouldn't be here to complain.
I like how they always very easily and conveniently ignore the fact that these songs that they are talking about are struggle songs. Songs that were composed by South Africans during colonization and apartheid. And also how they conveniently don't talk about the history of those songs. Why those songs exist in the first place. Who's the reason why? What was happening that motivated indigenous South Africans to start singing such songs, to create such songs to begin with? Who is the reason why such songs exist? Songs now that they call genocidal songs. And when you hear them talk about these songs, you will think that if they sing this song today in South Africa, tomorrow, all of them, how many percent of white South Africans, this 7% they are, be how many again, they would go and unalive all of them. They speak about these songs like because of this song, people, they have once sang this song and actually went out there and unalived them. But yeah, let them talk about the song. They are genocidal songs. Oh, they sing these songs. We are the victim here. They are unaliving us. Let's not talk about why them so-called genocidal songs, like they like to tag them, exist though. Let's just say, oh, they sing genocidal songs. Nothing happened. Over here is peaceful and dandy in South Africa. You just one day woke up and decided to compose genocidal songs.
All we do is sing songs. Our songs have never been put to action. That song you continue going on and on about, it's never been put to action. But till this day, white people are still trying to murder black people in this country. We haven't forgotten. We still remember those 3 boys who were almost drowned in a pool by white men. Our parents who live with us today, our grandparents, they remember apartheid. Some of our grandparents were born and died in apartheid. The only memories they have of this country are under oppressive rule. My mom tells me stories about how white police officers would break down the door of their home and take my grandmother in her nightgown with no shoes on, vandalize the house and leave them like that. And then my mother, as a child with her siblings, would have to walk to the police station to go and get my grandmother out. She tells me about going to school and seeing white men walk around the school over the windows with AK-47s ready to shoot any child. She tells me about dead bodies that would pop up around the neighborhood after the white people abducted them and then brought them back dead. Our family members who were kidnapped by white police officers who were bored, got tortured and went missing, and we never found them. Till this day, we haven't found them. Do you know how many black families can tell you stories like that? Of family members that were taken by the police and were never found again? And all we do is sing songs and you complain.
Their hypocrisy, I can't stand it. It makes me itch. How they conveniently just act like they don't know what the hell is going on when they know damn well what's going on and what has been going on. And somehow, even after all of this, try to paint themselves as the victims here. As a people, we are just too calm, too forgiving, too forgetting, too much in the business of trying to change people and civilize people, who have not only told us but have showed us that they don't intend to, and as a matter of fact self can never be civil, trying to live in peace with people who have not only told us but have actually showed us that they can't live in peace with us, trying to find level ground with people that that one there is our problem. Now there we for take the fuck up time and time over, and it is because we are like this that is why waiting they happen now they happen. All of this could have been avoided by saying no when colonization quote unquote ended. I beg, go back to your house, let everybody stay in their house. That was what we were supposed to say. That was what we were supposed to do then. But no, we didn't. And look at it now, it's still eating us in the behind. I just hope a day would come where we would collectively make the decisions that we actually do need to make. And stop trying to beat around the bush and imagine a world where we can all... It would never happen. So not because we are the ones even fighting against it, because they are the ones fighting against it. Imagine them descendants of colonizers in South Africa have in a white only town in South Africa. These people don't want to coexist. That's why they have to go back to Europe. The only way out of this is for, first of all, people that can be actual leaders, because you see them folks, I don't actually consider the ones we have now as leaders. Right? I don't see it. If you ask me, we don't have. All we have here are people who are still doing their master bidding. We have those, yes, but we don't have the ones that are for us. So back to what I was about to say, the only way out of it is, first of all, to get rid of the puppets. Secondly, to actually now put people there that are, useful. Have good leaders, that would actually do the things that they need to do. Leaders that will actually do the things that needs to be done on this continent, make those tough decisions that needs to be made. Put those stringent laws in place that needs to be put in place for our protection. That's the only way out of it. Create very clear, distinct boundaries so folks can know how exactly they need to be treading. That's why someone like me cannot be a politician. Because what I would do, that's if they don't even kill me after like a month being in office. Nah, I can't have actually picture myself as a politician. No, they go to hate me. Because the things me I would do. First of all, you will hear that Evie is fencing the continent. You know the way, what's his name? Trump wanted to put a wall in America and fence the Mexicans out, right? Me? The entire continent, I'll put a wall around it. I'm laughing right now, but I'm not joking at all. I'm actually very serious. Like, that's something that you would hear that I would do. Me? By any means necessary for our protection. That's how I would roll. But of course, guys, what do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, I would see you guys in the next one.